Okay to start? Okay, thank you. All right, Trustee McCallick is not here yet, so I am going to replace her temporarily. And before we get to the regular part of our agenda, she's coming right now. And we would like to have the floor for a moment, please.
Thank you, Phil. It's a pleasure for me tonight to thank Cheryl for all the work that she's done for us as the Board of Trustees. I know we're not an easy group to satisfy, but you've done wonderful. I appreciate it. Every member of the Board of Trustees appreciates it.
Aw.
I'd like to stand up and applaud. Please feel free to consume while you're meeting.
That's cute. I get 2 pieces of it.
You can have 3 if you want.
No.
You're all in retirement, just be careful what you volunteer for.
Good advice, good advice.
I'll go to the next one while you're getting ready.
I'm sorry?
We already started. You want me to go to the next one while you're getting ready?
Absolutely. Did I miss Deborah's presentation?
Nope.
No, not yet. No, Deborah's up next. Thank you for giving us, first of all, here at the Work Center. We appreciate it. And we're anxious to hear how things are going.
Yes. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming out again. And I think every year we say that the weather's a little gloomy when you come out. And we've moved these from winter to April or May months, and then we keep getting rain, I think, every time you're coming out. But this is, if you do have a chance to come out sometime when classes are in session and interact with our students or our faculty and staff, on a sunny day, you can't beat the grounds and the ponds and stuff out here. So please stop in and see us sometime on a sunny day. The first thing I had on my notes was to thank Cheryl as well, but specifically for all the support you've given us at the campus centers, especially coming out to Newark and saving us multiple times. So thank you, Cheryl. So thanks everybody for being here. Just to kind of start out, I wanted to go over a little bit about our Newark credit enrollment. And you're going to hear me talk about both credit and non-credit. Non-credit enrollment and classes have played a much larger role at Newark in the last few years, specifically recently. But credit is also, of course, very important for us to talk about. And I have some information on the slides about our target headcounts and our actual headcounts since I've last seen you. So for fall of 25 and for spring 26 right now, we were over our target headcount of what we had set our headcount thinking that it was going to be. We were down 7.7% fall over fall. So if we look at fall 2024 to fall 25, we were down 7.7% in headcount. However, we had adjusted that target before the enrollment period because we knew, because of some of the changes to the P-TECH program, that we weren't going to be where we thought we were going to be originally. So we kind of anticipated that, and we were able to get over the head count number that we targeted. The big, I guess, kudos or happiness for me, the positive side of it is the FTE growth. So we were up 39.6% FTE in the fall and then 31.5 in the spring, also up head count for spring over spring. So we're still on the smaller side, of course. We're not where we want to be. We want to grow FTE, we want to grow head count, but we were able to grow FTE disproportionately to our loss in head count. And I can attribute that to our success working with the ASA division and our department chairs to make a more strategic schedule so that students that do come in can take multiple courses in a row that work for them, instead of just coming and being able to do one class here and then having to jump online for others. So if they want to come here and they want to take multiple classes, that's what we're looking to set up. And I think that's reflected in the FTE growth. Well, I tested it and it worked. Okay, there we go. So for non-credit offerings, we've had a big collaboration with the workforce area for non-credit. You all know the story about virtual welding and how it started here at the Newark campus. We're currently on the 5th cohort of students attending the welding here. And of course, they've established and expanded into other areas of the institution as well. Each cohort here at Newark has participated in a job fair in conjunction with our DOL partnership here in the building, as well as a graduation ceremony. And in December, we did celebrate the first woman graduating from that program. The program is now getting regional attention and media requests. So we did have 2 different news channels in last week filming with the students. So that's great. Other non-credit stuff that we have going on, we have the impaired driver program, we have GED classes, community ed, and then we also have some customized workforce training that has been put together. In fact, Cheryl's going to be the instructor of one of those coming up. So thanks to the workforce team helping us put those opportunities here in this building. And one thing I wanted to point out, I had to check with Kim Ward on this number, ask her for an estimate of how many testers have come through here with our GED certified testing lab for this academic year, and she estimates about 500. So that is a huge part of our traffic coming in. Using that lab, the testers come in, they hopefully get a great experience here. They get to see the college, they see our staff, they pass their test, and hopefully want to come to FLCC.
Excuse me, just,
Yes.
we met with, Congresswoman Penny, and she was talking about women as welders. And I've got the company, there's a high demand for them because they're more accurate.
Better fine motor skills. Manufacturing
And
really needs women.
it's really, very interesting. So I'm glad to see the one, being that nice to get a friend there.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact. Yeah. So we also have quite a few partnerships here at Newark. Our main one, of course, is the Department of Labor, being that they're co-located in our building. And last year when you were here, we were just advertising that we were going to have a open house coming up, and it was after your meeting, after the last time I presented to you, that this picture here was here. We had a very nice open house event with the Department of Labor with over 50 participants coming in. We had a SUNY Vice Chancellor here. We had many of our cabinet members here, legislators, different people from around the community that came and participated kind of in this marriage between BOCES P-TECH program, FLCC, and Department of Labor all being on the same campus. I think the Vice Chancellor said this was kind of like his dream scenario and he was standing in it. So I loved hearing his comments that day. But we continue to have a great Department of Labor partnership with them. They walk referrals directly down to my office. I can talk with students about SUNY Reconnect or about other programs, and we get them on the path to applying and moving through the process. We're also co-located here with Wayne Finger Lakes BOCES, P-TECH, as you know. There are some pending changes to their program. We're not sure quite yet what those changes will mean for us here with enrollment at Newark or how those will pan out, but we continue to be a good partner with them and work diligently through things. We were able to have one of our FLCC and P-TECH graduates last year, Darian Hendricks, present at a national conference, and I was able to go watch him do that for the Rural Schools of America conference in Lake Placid, and he was able to speak about earning his FLCC degree before earning his high school diploma. He had 90 college credits from FLCC, graduated from FLCC, and he's at a 4-year institution now, and he gave a great presentation. A lot of people from around the state were there, were very impressed with him, and of course, FLCC was the topic of the day, so that was great. We also work with Wayne County Community Schools and the Wayne County Partnership here locally in the county to try to just build goodwill and have us both be present. And I wanted to specifically point out what we're doing for recruitment. So how are we going to get to our enrollment goals? These are some of the things that we do. In the fall, we do direct high school visits. So there's 1 week we go out more than 1 week, but there's one specific week in the fall that Matt Stever and the admissions team will line up as Wayne County Schools Week for FLCC, and we will go out and meet directly at those schools that week for sure. We also do direct outreach to students through Slate. I think I told you last time about how our targeted outreach is getting so much better. We're able to pull reports that really narrow down students who might want to take classes specifically at this location, what majors they're in, reach out to them, use that data for schedule building and other things like that. We offer admissions appointments one-on-one, multiple times a month. And we participate in the fall and spring visit days on main campus, as well as have our own fall and spring visit day here at Newark. The spring one is coming up April 23rd. We also do community presentations on SUNY Reconnect. So the most recent one, I went with Matt McDonald from Workforce, and he and I together went and co-presented at the Newark Chamber. And I talked about credit offerings in SUNY Reconnect, and he talked about non-credit offerings. And that was very well received. And we do host a P-Tech orientation program, which I consider that a recruitment event because these students that are going through that program do not have to necessarily continue on or keep finishing their degree at FLCC. We want them to choose to. So when we offer an orientation program, we treat it as a welcoming of them into the program, but also a recruitment event that we are saying, you know, we hope you choose FLCC and you stick with us. We also target the GED testers, so those 500 people coming through are not missed. They are given admissions materials and other literature. And we also jump in on the DOL Jumpstart program. Our workforce staff, Matt McDonald and Pat Bennett, usually are the ones that attend those and talk about non-credit offerings mostly, but we also talk about SUNY Reconnect. We make sure those flyers are available to them. And we also develop a very robust new student registration schedule to try to give as many opportunities as possible for students to register here. And then the last one, I'm sorry I have such a long list, but the last one, the exploration of early college high school, is something that's very much on our mind. This is a goal. I worked with Dr. Urbatis to set our goals for the year. And one of our top goals is to not only discuss this, but really write an implementation plan and proposal to have a Wayne County early college high school here at the Newark campus. So we're hoping that that comes to fruition. Of course, we have to do a feasibility look at it first to make sure it's going to work, but that's a coming goal. I just wanted to advertise our STEAM camp. There's a lot of language on here, but our STEAM camp description was quite long this year. We're doing STEAM in orbit. We've done STEAM in space and different things before in this light, and we've done other themes as well. But the space theme always seems to be popular with the kids. This is available July 13th through 17th, open to grades 6 through 9. So if you know anybody, please send them our way. Registration is open now. And this year we're going to focus, of course, just today is the Artemis launch. And so we're going to focus a little bit on that and some other things with space and with the STEAM camp. And then lastly, our upcoming events, just to let you know, we have registration beginning both for current students and new students. Welding graduation is coming up. We are going to be participating at main campus in our Accepted Students Day, and we have our Newark Advisory Board meeting in the spring. That's always popular. We also have the Spring Visit Day, and then also Laker Day of Giving is coming. And I just want to say thank you. So many people that are here and other people have really helped grow the Newark Campus Center Scholarship. So I always like to promote that on the Laker Day of Giving, and it really goes to benefit a student that's attending here at Newark. Any questions? Yes.
A lot of great news. Early college high school.
Yeah.
What stage are you at?
The complete beginning, to be completely honest. Yeah, we've had, I think, 2 meetings, just internal partners so far, talking about feasibility and also learning from what has already been started in Geneva. So I'll be working with Fred Fink and then Jesse Fetterman, who's also in that area. And then Janine in Geneva has given me some great insight about what has worked and maybe hasn't worked with getting that off the ground. And then our next step is moving out to superintendents. We know a few that already have verbalized being interested. And so our next step is going to be connecting with them and then starting to get something on paper as far as an actual written proposal. To see.
Is don't overlook Jay Roscoe.
Oh, yes. Jay's a great partner of ours. He's on our Newark Campus Center Advisory Board. And then we attend his meetings for Wayne County Partnership every month as well.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a player in pretty much everything that we did up there. Jay is involved in somehow.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Anything? Dr. Nye?
Can I just say, you just gave a wonderful presentation, and while you might be small, and you talked about the numbers you have here, you're really mighty. And when you take numbers, not just when we look at the students that are here matriculated, but all the other things you do here, it is tremendous, not only for the college, but for this county and this community right here. So thank you for the great work you're doing here. It really shows when you can tell that story, and you truly have hundreds of people coming through this building. But sometimes we forget how much you're doing here and how busy you are. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And you too. Have a great day. Thank you, Joan, for starting us off. And thank you, George, for chairing the education planning meeting the last time around. We have committee minutes from the March 4th meetings. Anybody have any comments about those minutes? All right. We will move on to the enrollment update from Dr. Bates.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening.
It's a good evening. Okay, so in your packet is the enrollment comparison report from March 20th. I'm going to provide a verbal update for spring enrollment as of March 27th, this past Friday. So spring enrollment excluding Gemini and non-credit state aidable, head count is up 6% compared to 6.1% on March 20th. And FTE is up 4.8% compared to being up 4.6% on March 20th. When we include Gemini and non-credit state aidable, head count is up 10% compared to 10.5% on March 20th. And FTE is up 7.5% compared to being up 7.8% on March 20th. And Gemini registrations are complete at this point, so this information will not be changing drastically going forward. And I look forward to the May meeting to give you our fall numbers. Any questions? Trustee Bushman.
Well done, well done. Period.
Thank you.
I,
It takes a team.
yeah, that's a good one. We're proud of it.
Yes, indeed.
The, part-time is where all the growth is coming,
Mhm.
and, it's approaching 50%.
It is.
National average is up well over 60.
Correct, across higher ed in general, yes.
And I guess this, I just want to confirm that with you. I don't know how we can project going forward. But Dr. Nye, I think I, as a board member, would be interested in understanding, when you look at the FTE cost, it's not linear from a full-time to a part-time student. So as those grow, I went on AI and I actually did a little research on it, and I actually constructed a little tool for me to throw in the total costs, our ratios and all that. And as you move that lever, as it gets higher, that cost per student goes up and up and up. Yeah. It would be great to be able to have a case example of the FLCC that we could take and use to help push the argument that the FTE rate is completely broken. Legislators already seem to understand that. They've been asked some of the right questions. But they need something tangible. That's possible. It would also, I think, be a really great subject to discuss in the future the future meeting to really understand what's ahead of us on that. How do we need to look at this now because it's not sustainable.
We can do that. I would be thinking the June meeting, just to give enough time for folks to do something, or it could be the August one, we don't know in July, but it is a concern because the numbers, students don't reduce the amount of burden that was placed on both faculty and staff to support the students based on a reduced amount of funding.
I understand it conceptually, I need something.
No, we
Tangible, but we can't already in front of people. I think it would be really interesting to see it. Because it blew my mind when I moved the little lever on that today I built. It's like,
Would you listen to Dave Padu where you built your own app? Just
I
got
just think that's that machine that whoever did it. Amazing.
Okay, we'll work on
Yes. Continuing the good news, the Gemini numbers are up significantly, 350 million, but rough count 20%. You attribute, what do you attribute that to?
That's a good question. I don't have oversight of the Gemini area. I'm wondering if Beth has some insights on that.
I don't know that I do. This isn't related to the shift in registration, right? We saw that sort of.
That was in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was full year courses shifted to the fall. Yeah.
looking at the numbers a little bit, some of the schools have really increased. It's a few schools, Victor being one, they went up a significant number, so did Canandaigua. And I think some of the schools that are really buying into it versus AP. Geneva is not as bought in to the numbers as some other schools are at this point, but Victor in particular has jumped up tremendously in numbers.
I can certainly inquire, Fred, think regarding your question and get back to you.
I mean, the value, I mean, just say from a parental standpoint or a student cost standpoint is incredible.
Yes,
To be able to present and offer that as you're offering your credentials to a 2 or 4 year institution
yes.
as you're transitioning in. So,
And I think the value, there's increased value when we define pathways for their students as well. So we're getting much better at that.
thanks.
We have some additional information from these very knowledgeable people around me that are suggesting that the BOCES COSER. Okay.
That's a good point. So BOCES COSER, define that again for us.
Cooperative Services Agreement,
Okay.
which is fairly new.
Lower the costs for
Right.
students, and this could be costs to be taken on by the K-12 institution.
So like basically what has happened is almost all of the districts in our BOCES area that are a part of the COSER, they've chosen, I'm oversimplifying this, but they've chosen to use the money that they can to pay for the Gemini fees. So if a student, although our fees are very low, they are now zero, which is bringing more students in. And then you couple that with moves in Victor and Canandaigua, which are our largest sending districts, to expand their offerings. It's like a 1-2 punch, right? We got more everywhere, but we got a lot more in 2 big districts. But I think it's a combination of things. Fred would be able to talk more about it.
I'll reach out.
I'm feeling pretty confident in that.
Anything else?
Thank you. Paul.
Excellent. And thank you to the audience.
So we are very much looking forward to the supporting students presentation. So let me make sure I have this right. John, you're Associate Professor of Environmental Conservation and Horticulture, is that correct?
Correct.
And Beth, your current title,
The interim associate provost of curriculum instruction, but professor of speech and theater, which is why I'm on this one. So just by way of introduction to this, if Dr. Ortiz, I know, I think is remote, we're here. We're very excited about the ability to extend the classroom, right, on a global level. The students that get to partake in these experiences, right, their citizenship right? Their global competency increases. I mean, this is a tremendous, tremendous experience. And so we're going to talk briefly about our two programs. I do have my eye on the clock, so that we're good there. If you want to go to the next slide. So I have to give credit to Dr. Urbatus because she met William Johnson at an event. And William is sort of the liaison to other schools for the MAID school in Sicily. If you, in your packet, that link will take you to their site and you can see all the things that they do. They're predominantly an arts institution. We got to go in October and do a site visit, so I took some photos here. They teach fashion design, they teach volcanology, they teach, like, it has to be for their accreditation site specific, so what's in Sicily and what can they teach based on what's in Sicily. So it took about almost a better part of 2 years, yes, in meetings and conversations with them to kind of get this rolling. And I think where the initial idea started, we shifted a little bit, but I think it's going to be amazing. If you'll go to the next slide. This is a complicated slide, but it shows you a little bit about what the students have in terms of opportunity. So they choose one of our courses. So Mary Del Maestro, who is the co-director with me, is teaching Art History 1. I am teaching Theater History 1, and I can't tell you how excited I am. I have my entire career, which is pushing 30 years, have wanted to teach study abroad, where I can actually take the students to a Greek theater movement, to a Roman amphitheater, and walk it and be in it. And it's just very, very exciting. So they picked one of these. We spent a lot of time with the registrar, with the MAID school, with faculty in the department to make sure that the other class they pick is one of the classes that MAID offers, and that we articulated that into a general education or a program outcome so that this is aidable. So if the student qualifies for financial aid, these classes have already been slotted into the program. Mary Del Maestro, as I transition roles a little bit, has done the heavy lift to work with every student to make sure that the classes they're taking fit into their program so that if they need to use financial aid, they can. And it's all locked in. And Mike Fisher and Jonathan Murray have been really helpful in helping make sure that happens. So a lot of them, I put the numbers on there because I thought it was interesting to see how many people are doing, want to take language, which a lot of people are going to get their world language here, but the students that are taking volcanology, I mean, there's Mount Etna, right? There's this active volcano that's there and they get to go and do a science class, studying paint, which who wouldn't want that as an experience? And so, right. Just so you know. So those are the classes, and then so they'll get 6 to 7 credit hours. We are working with viticulture so that they can do a wine thing. It probably won't happen this summer, maybe for 1 or 2 students, but more likely next semester. So Cheryl, can you go ahead? And I think this pretty much gets my time. I just wanted to show a couple pictures of the student housing. So all the students will be in the same building. We're working on rooming arrangements, but there'll be other students from other institutions there too. So not only do they get to be embedded with each other, but there will be other students from other colleges, the MAID students that are there taking the summer programs. And then a couple of highlights. We will be singing Antigone on that stage. They put a stage on there and they do it. So I'm very excited. That's all for me. Go ahead, John.
Thank you. I'm going to start by also giving a shout out to Dr. Herbatus, because if not for the support of the college, I think 2 months ago, we were really worried that this trip to South Africa was not going to run, where we needed 16 students and we had 11 enrolled. The college did a great job with marketing, creating a website for us that was able to push us over the top. So I'm thrilled to announce that this is the 3rd time that we'll be taking students to South Africa. This is a 2.5-week course studying the savanna, the Greater Kruger ecosystem. We'll be staying in a preserve right outside this amazing national park. Pretty much our day consists of going out, looking at tracks, wildlife sign, understanding the relationships between wildlife and the plants, among wildlife species as well. At the end of this course, students have an opportunity to take an internationally certified tracker certification course. 2024 was my first time on this trip. I think we had 3 of the 16 students score a level 2, which means they scored better than 80% on it. Another 8 scored a level 1, which they scored 70% or better on it. One of them was really close to a level 3. That student has continued on to follow the 2 guides that are with us pretty much all over the world, and has really kind of found her niche. If you go to the next slide. So the instructional team, Maura Sullivan and myself, this is the 3rd time that Maura and I have done a study abroad together. I understand that there's, worries whenever students are leaving the state, let alone the country. And Maura and I, on our 2 trips prior to this, 2022, when we went to Yellowstone National Park, the park closed. For the first time in its history, I was outside of the national park with half of the class while Maura was inside with the other half. And we had to work around that logistics. We did not have cell reception, but we pivoted, we made it work, and students had an amazing experience out of it. When we went to South Africa in 2024, on our last day there, we were notified that our flight was canceled. And same thing, we had to arrange for hotels, as well as a very immersive final day for students where we took them to a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Cradle of Humanity. So I hope you have faith in us that, when the inevitable obviously happens, again, we're 2 for 2. I'm expecting that something's going to come up, that we really pivot and everything is in the best interest of the students. So our guides here, Lee Gutteridge, if there was a Hall of Fame for tracking, Lee would have a bus there. Kirsty Lawrence, his wife, is the highest ranking female tracker in the world. They have been doing this for decades. Again, concerns, we are on the ground tracking, trailing wildlife, the big 5 in Africa, the lion, the leopard, Cape buffalo, white rhino, and elephant. They are armed. They've never had to fire a shot during their time there. They are really on top of the pulse, reading the wildlife's body language, understanding how to diffuse situations. We go to the public site. So again, it's about 2.5 weeks. We have an informational meeting, kind of introductions for our students, a couple weeks, right around the time that the Mueller Bunkhouse opens up. I think we'll be the first overnight stay there, where students get to know one another. And then Maura and I are hosting a optional track and sign project that following day on the 18th. Tuesday, the 30th, we are meeting just to make sure that students have everything ready to go. Passports will be passed along to Maura and myself at that point. So again, we're not going to run into any, worries of students not being able to make it. We leave July 4th at 3:30 in the morning. We're getting picked up on campus. Not looking forward to that one. And then we are departing Johannesburg on the 19th, returning on July 20th. Questions?
For those who have registered for these programs, do you have any students who are from outside the area?
We need 16 students for this to run. We have 13 students from FLCC. That was enough for us to be able to be in the black on this project, but it kind of would have shortchanged Lee and Kersey, who depend on this money for income. We have 3 students from University of Aberdeen in Scotland who are taking those final 3 slots. So they're not doing it through FLCC or for credit. It's just enough again. So we're, kind of being nice to our outfitters.
And we have students, like there's some from downstate in Brooklyn, for example, that, so you all, I think, got a group flight. But because our students, and the other big future forward is that we're hoping to be sort of within SUNY, right, the Sicily Study Abroad Hub, so that anybody who wanted to go study, right, comes through FLCC. So that's our big thing. So because we didn't know what colleges these students would be coming from, right, because this was put up on the SUNY site. We have students that are going to fly out of different airports, so we didn't do a group flight because we didn't know where they would originate from. So the students were in charge of their own flights.
It's very exciting.
So it's been done before, but not to this extent?
Well, this is the inaugural trip for us. This is their 3rd time, but this is the first time for us, because we've just been It really has been 2 years.
You were able to do a familiarization trip or a FAM trip?
Yeah, Mary and I went in October for a site visit and got to see the school, we got to see the housing. We got to go to the sites and, you know, decide like, these are the things that we want the students to be able to see, that our classes align pretty closely, historically for sure. And so because of the Greco-Roman Byzantine era, like that whole piece, right? There's so much overlap. The trips we can share the same trips and get really good experiences for all the students.
Are either one of you planning any post follow-up events, any connections with these students? I realize it's summer and they're maybe not as engaged as spring and fall, but is that something that might be in the works you're thinking about?
I don't know, we're gonna have probably, because we're there for 5 weeks, so we're gonna have like weekly dinners, and we're actually, the class starts May 12th, because there's a month that's sort of online before, well, a couple weeks that's online before we go. We have a pre-departure meeting next week, but we have not thought about, at least we haven't thought about the post.
No, post, we have a Facebook group page for those students. We did some follow-up mostly to have them share their experience, if they were going back a second time, you know, especially with regards to packing experience, what they would have changed. And we took a lot of that feedback and adjusted it for this trip around. And especially with the folks who went on further to pursue the level up their tracking guide. Maura and I have been in contact with those students as well, to try and get them to help us with some preparatory materials, photographs that they took in Africa, to give us some kind of supplemental information for this new cohort ahead of time, to kind of have them get some basic knowledge on track and sign before we're boots on the ground.
We've all certainly heard this at a 4-year or higher institution, but a 2-year. Well, what a feather. Not only that, but you've talked about maybe being the hub, but being FLCC as a destination. Holy mackerel. I mean, so.
And I think a lot of the students' families are happy that it's a faculty-led
Yeah.
experience, as opposed to, I'm gonna send my student to someplace
Abroad.
and I don't know, at least there's an FLCC person there in
Yeah.
case.
There's a students who've gotten homesick. We've had to take students to urgent care
Sure.
as well. We've communicated with parents who are the kind of hovering type as well. So I think there's something to be said about having a direct contact, you know, 6 hours and many thousand miles away.
I just want to add too, in regard to the Made Institute partnership, we're also working with them to establish viticulture, summer viticulture practicum experiences in Sicily for our VIT students. That will not happen this summer.
There's one maybe.
Possibly one, but we're targeting summer of 27.
I'd also like to see it in January, because I think it'll be more affordable for our students to go for 2 weeks instead of 5.
Can't wait to hear your report in the morning.
Yeah.
Safe trip.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. All right, on to resolutions. First resolution we have is going to be presented by
Jonathan?
Good evening.
Evening.
Few positions to read about tonight, and so that's what I'll be sharing with you. The first is the Assistant Director of Academic Advising and Transfer Services. This Assistant Director of Academic Advising and Transfer Services is a new position. It's full-time, 12 months, college-funded position, and is within Group B in the Professional Association. The second position is for the Assistant Registrar, which is also a new position that supports the administration and integrity of the college's academic records, transfer credit evaluation, degree audit systems, and graduation certification processes. This is a full-time 12-month college-funded position which is within Group B in the professional association. The third role is for a digital content strategist. This strategist replaces the digital content specialist. This role now involves planning digital content strategy, analyzing website performance data, training employees who manage web content, and ensuring that online information is accurate, accessible, and aligned with the college standards. This is a full-time 12-month college-funded position within Group B of the Professional Association. The next position is for the Director of Workforce, Career, and Experiential Learning. The Director of Workforce, Career, and Experiential Learning has been revised to align with the college's academic and student affairs leadership structure, which includes the creation of the Associate Provost of Economic Development and Lifelong Learning, which is currently posted. This is a full-time 12-month college-funded position that remains in Group A of the Professional Association. And the last one is for the Senior International Student Advisor. This is a new position that will serve as the college's principal designated school official and act as the top-level school administrator responsible for ensuring compliance with U.S. student and exchange visa program regulations. This position replaces one of the current admissions counselor's positions. It's full-time, 12 months, college-funded, and is within Group C of the Professional Association.
Can I note that, there was another resolution before this, the affirmation of the resolution that got passed by poll on March 10th.
I don't have that.
You said by poll, but there was a.
We
didn't
just
email.
conducted a poll.
We asked for the board to approve early. So we can get them. Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to bring that forward,
Yep, okay.
because Sydney approved those.
Yes, the special,
Yes,
yes.
so I just wanted to mention that. This is the affirmation of those two.
Yes, I'm sorry, well, 4 hours of sleep I got after my conference.
So we appreciate your being here after that. So there aren't any additional resolutions other than what we have in our packet that we're
Correct.
passing.
So most of the positions are either adjustments of current positions or replacements, but there are, I think, a couple, three that are brand new, they're additions. So how have we made provision for funding those? Are they in the existing budget or are we adjusting that budget?
All more except one that you said in the approval, well, they're all in the existing budget. CFO has to, working with the CFO to make sure what we do. All of them except one, John, if you correct me too, were part of the budget process, the new positions. I asked for a new position to be established because of the change of Pell short-term workforce activity, and that it creates a new funding model for the college, and also the requirements to be able to grow our workforce programs is going to need some higher level leadership. And it's strategic in nature in terms of what happened when Pell short-term grant was funded. So over time, it should take care of itself in terms of any other funding, because if the Pell programs are funded, it's no different than our FE model for funds. So, and all the other ones go through a rigorous process in terms of how we make the decision for the new positions.
Based on Dr. Nye's recommendation of having this new associate provost position, we currently have applicants in the pool right now that are looking forward to continue with the recruitment process. Any other questions?
I just have one minor thing that I've just noticed on the Assistant Provost of Curriculum and Academic Partnerships. It just looks like in the 1 to 3rd whereas, the new title looks exactly the same as the previous title. I think that just might.
Rachel said that the title stayed the same, it's the job description.
It's
That
just
changed, the duties within the job description had changed as well. Rachel explained.
And that's what Jonathan said too. What he was trying to-
So that's what you were trying to explain. So it does say that there is an assistant provost of curriculum and academic partnerships, but then there's an associate provost of economic development and lifelong learning.
Yes, two separate roles. Yes.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
We have
Number 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest here tonight. His name is Matt Hens, who is here for a celebration of his appointment upon your approval to the Professional Association. Matt is a network security specialist for the college. He is also a graduate of the college, part-time employee of the college, if I remember correctly. No, right? Okay, yep, part-time employee. And then this is your third or fourth job in the college, third. So he's been waiting 3 iterations of getting his appointment through the Professional Association, because when he took each of the new jobs, you have to take a step back and the clock steps back a little bit for Matt. So he's been very patient during this time frame. But I have to tell you, Matt is exceptionally knowledgeable in his skill set, and he keeps our college safe from the network side. And you can sleep well at night, because there are a lot of times where Matt's doing things late at night in different parts of the day to help keep our security going for our systems. But really what's important about Matt is he's exceptionally enthusiastic. He loves the college. He is an exceptional teammate and team player for his team. He's an excellent communicator, and he is exactly who you want helping us at our college. And it is a true pleasure, Matt, to be able to have you here today. I actually had to kind of cajole it a little bit. Matt, you got to be here. And thank you. I hope I didn't cajole you too much. I sat down at the lunch table a few days ago, and he thought, "Oh my God, did I miss it?" I said, "No, Matt, it's next week. You're okay."
So after night in the shower, I was like, wait, I think I missed it. I'm at lunch that day, and he informed me that I had it, so I was excited.
Matt is truly the epitome of the college employee on faculty and staff that truly care about the mission and about taking care of our students and about taking care of our college. And that passion shows in what Matt does every single day. So Matt, it is a great pleasure to recommend you to the Board of Trustees for your appointment to the Professional Association.
I would just like to add that in Matt's previous roles, somewhere along the trail, he has also been of great assistance to certain Board of Trustees. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Nye. Dr. Johnson?
Oh, no,
yeah.
Dr. Johnson. Dr. Johnson is my wife. I'm simply Professor or Milton Johnson. I'm here to present the changes to the credit contact hour policy. I'm happy to take any questions specifically about that. You'd like a short summary of the changes?
A brief executive.
Of course. So the policy was written by SUNY in 2017. We adopted it almost full scale from what they had in 2017. As you can imagine, in the 9+ years since 2017, that our modalities for teaching has significantly shifted. And so the way that the policy was previously written was largely based upon seat time. Seat time is a pretty difficult thing to measure in an online environment when you think about asynchronous coursework. And so looking at that policy and recognizing that there are new middle states requirements for measuring what's called RSI, or regular and substantive interactions between faculty and students, we need to be able to measure those. So when looking at traditional lecture-based courses, which are typically viewed as 3 hours or 3 contacts plus the additional 2 hours outside of that, the total in a 15-week term is 37.5 hours. Based upon that measure, and then using that to look at specific types of laboratory courses, those that don't require significant work outside of the course or the classroom, compared to those which do require substantive work outside of the classroom. And again, making sure that those all equal the same. And the same is true with also our experiential learning courses as well.
So using that new 37.5 hours, or not the new, but defining a credit as 37.5 hours of total student engagement, deep time or instruction time with outside work time, expected of homework and so forth. You have that consistently across each of those modalities now. And so that helps to bring us into line to what we do now in the year of 2026.
Any questions?
Nice overview.
Thank you for keeping us up to date.
Sure, no problem. Thanks.
Approving faculty promotions. We have someone who is presenting those.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Murphy.
Yes.
Professor and program coordinator for the Chemical Dependency Counseling Program and promotion committee chair this year. So I'm in the Department of Social Sciences. Our vice chair, Derek Gentry, is from the Humanities Department. Jessica Brinza was a member of the committee. She's from the Health Science and Human Performance Department. Ines Draskovic from Visual Performing Arts. Brian Ingham from Mathematics, and Patty Rockwell from the Environmental Conservation Horticulture Department. So the candidates for promotion are, see if I can get these in order. We have 5 candidates for being promoted to professor. Delia Ackerman, who's here. Paul Brock from the viticulture program. Trevor Johnson Stiegelman from science. Kim Noyes from the nursing department. And Jamie Rotter from the business department. They are all being recommended for promotion to full professor. To associate professor, Tina Hamilton from the nursing department. Sarah Heidebrink Bruno from the humanities department. And Christine Quinn from the math department are being recommended for promotion to associate professor. And lastly, we have one instructor who is being recommended to be promoted to assistant professor, and that is Melissa Langworthy, and she is in the nursing department.
And you said we had someone here from one of the here. Do you live?
Thank you.
So I'm Delia Ackerman. I'm co-chair of the sabbatical committee. And the sabbatical committee consists of 8 faculty members across several disciplines: ASL, new media, music, art, mathematics, communication, healthcare studies, physics, and Dr. Ortiz as ex officio. The purpose of a sabbatical is for the faculty member to focus on activities outside of the college that will benefit both the college and the faculty member over time. Sabbatical leave is expected to strengthen the contribution that a faculty member makes to the institution. Simply put, a sabbatical is a period of alternative growth. The categories of sabbatical are formal or informal studies, travel outside the service area, curricular development, scholarly and creative activities, or some combination of the above. Professor Huffman's sabbatical is mainly focused on curricular development, in particular, a mathematics for healthcare professionals, a course that has been offered in some form at FLCC for over 35 years. Professor Hoffman will be developing a student workbook and companion text with the goal to have these as open education access resources. Professor Johnson's sabbatical is focused on a scholarly creative activity, a revision of a full-length play written while in his master's program more than 30 years ago. This revision will explore AI tools as possible dramaturgical The goal is to produce a performance-ready script. Students will gain exposure to the full life cycle of a creative work from archived draft to revised production. Lastly, Professor McKinney's sabbatical is also scholarly creative with travel outside of the service area. Her primary goal is to produce a solo exhibition at the Holter Museum of Art in Helena, Montana, fall 2026. Her secondary goal is to expand her project, Contact Zone. Contact Zone addresses the pressing intersection of environmental crisis and feminist ecology through visual art. Students will learn about real-world museum exhibition practices and explore an exhibition of her sabbatical work at the Campus Art Gallery and Art Space 36. Finally and importantly, the sabbatical committee and the candidates selected for the 2026-2027 sabbatical extend their gratitude to the board for your continued support of these worthwhile endeavors. Thank you.
Sounds like a very productive group.
I just had one question. When the sabbaticals are done, do they come back to the committee and maybe present their findings or results, the work that they've done, or what's maybe a process after the sabbatical?
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways that they can do a presentation at a faculty alliance. Some of the faculty go to Art Space 36 and do a presentation that's open to the communities. So there's different ways that they, follow up on their
It's
sabbatical.
done. Great. Thank you.
And hopefully next spring, maybe you can see the show.
The
blood.
The drama.
That's my plan.
Dr. Johnson.
Yeah. So, one of the high points of getting to serve in this interim role is to get to acknowledge these amazing colleagues that have had just tremendous impact on FLCC, the students and everything. It is truly, truly an honor. So forgive me for reading a little bit for these because I want to respect time, but also I need to acknowledge the work that's done. And many of these people, I believe, are online and hopefully their families, because I shared the link and said, share with your people, because this is a time when I get to say the nice things. And we all get to really appreciate them. I also have to thank quickly the committee that did this, because we worked on kind of a compressed timeline because of some changes in staff, as you know. And so we went a little faster than normal. And so I have to thank the people, Teresa Danis, Sarah Moon, John Van Bargens, Maura Sullivan, Rob Niger, Sean Malley, and then Ryan Reynolds, Sarah Whiffen, and myself for, doing the work of the committee and of course for your time. So in alphabetical order, I first want to present this amazing nursing faculty, Heather Reese-Tillich, for Professor Emeritus Distinction as member of the nursing faculty for more than 30 years. She shaped one of the college's most challenging and rigorous programs. I'm sure you've heard from the nursing people in your time here. She began as a dedicated faculty member teaching first semester nursing students, a role that demands extraordinary patience, clarity, emotional intelligence, and she grew into the role of department chair when she retired, guiding the nursing program through some of the most significant changes in history. So the whole curriculum shift, which I'm sure you are aware of, going to the competency-based curriculum was a major shift. And when I talked to, I'm already off script, but when I talked to other institutions, they were like, you really can do that? Like we were ahead of the curve a little bit there. And she also led the opening of the Allied Health Center during the pandemic. Many of you might have been there for that. And through all of it, the colleagues really describe her as being able to bring steadfast predictability and calm to a nursing department that sometimes had a little less calm. Under her chairship, the department pass rate of the nursing licensure exam increased each year, the measurable and meaningful testament to her ability to bring the team together. She attended and presented at national and local nursing conferences, guided the department through multiple accreditation processes, even prepping for the one that we just did. And then I just want to acknowledge, right, to other family that might be watching that the measure of the legacy really is when you walk the halls of the hospitals. And I can't tell you, I haven't been to the hospital a lot, but I feel like every time I'm there, I find one of our students, right? And maybe you have done the same thing. So thank you so much, Heather. Barb Schreiber is the next candidate for your approval. And another 30 years at the institution ensure walk through the door left here with more than just a degree, right? Her work was about the whole student, meeting them where they were, listening deeply, advocating fiercely on their behalf. As the institutional needs evolved, so did Barb's role. She changed and had multiple iterations as an advisor and the type of work and the people that she worked with. She had to sort of expand her expertise into working through career counseling, became a dedicated advisor for the business department. And there was acknowledgement from them, right, that how much they trusted her and her ability to advise their students. She helped advance the FLCC CARES program and was instrumental in pioneering the emergency loan fund through the FLCC Foundation, which has helped many students over the time. And if you don't know, right, that's emergency funds that helps with food insecurity, financial hardships, housing instability, the barriers that tend to really derail our students, sometimes more than any academic barrier. She became the person that faculty called on when they didn't know who to go to. I'm pointing at myself because I am the faculty member. Definitely go to Barb. When I was like, who do I call to help the student? Another colleague described her as someone who demonstrated a strong commitment to support others by sharing her specialized knowledge and helping them navigate complex processes as they came right into the institution. Her family, Barb, if you're out there, again, your legacy is not about years, right? It's about the number of students who were able to find their path here, who were able to graduate because you were looking out for their needs. And then next is Eamon Sweet. And again, it's my honor to present this person for your approval for Adjunct Faculty Emeritus Distinction. Many of you may know Eamon for 20 years, who gave the institution more than any adjunct ever has. Truly. Built a sustainable anthropology program at a time when it might have otherwise disappeared. There was no full-time faculty, right? Eamon was doing that work. He stepped into the role of a discipline coordinator voluntarily without compensation because he believed in the program and the students. One of his own initiatives, right, on his own initiative, he developed courses that distinguished FLCC from other peer institutions. He pioneered online learning when it was not commonplace. He earned advanced degrees entirely at his own expense, right, to better the experience of our students in those courses that he so closely, built and watched and saw. He was the first adjunct in FLCC's history to receive the SUNY Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Adjunct Teaching and was honored as an advisor of distinction multiple times. But perhaps what defines him the most is his devotion to our student veterans. A veteran himself out of the U.S. Air Force, right, he co-led the student veterans clubs, helped ensuring that there was a Veterans Advocacy Council, launched the VA Student Work Study Allowance Program, and created the Student Emergency Relief Fund for Veterans. He transformed the annual Veterans Day into a Veterans Week. I don't know if any of you got to attend the ball and the dinner and all the wonderful events. He was such a common sight in the hallways. Like you would walk to the student center and there Eamon was at a table raising money for students, for veterans, helping to promote those groups. It's just amazing amount of work. His advocacy resonated across Western New York and beyond. Eamon, to you, your family, thank you so much for championing the program, the students, and obviously the veterans. All right, one more. I'm trying to be good. All right. Our next content is an honor to present this resolution for emeritus distinction. Verna, by every account, was the bedrock of the horticultural program. So I hope you have had a chance to know Verna. Over the course of her tenure, she served as the technical specialist, the greenhouse manager, academic advisor, program coordinator, instructor, and she excelled in every single one of those roles. She transformed the department's greenhouse into a living laboratory. And if you've been to the greenhouse, you know we're working on the next evolution of that. It was a great place, and I'm so happy that it's going to get a new life. Working weekends, doing all the necessary things, right? If you garden, right, you know that it's not like a Monday through Friday thing. Right? It happens all the time. Coming in and doing those things, she mentored generations of students with patience, gentleness, and genuine care, and many alumni credit her directly with shaping their academic and professional paths. She brought the horticulture industry to life in the classroom through her deep network of professional contacts across the region and the country, and she helped greenify campus events. I know I asked her a number of times, hey, do you have anything we can put on stage? Beautified the Arboretum and represented the program at recruitment events across the area. Similarly, her community efforts, her service work beyond FLCC, she was mayorally appointed member of the City of Canandaigua Tree Advisory Board, participated in the Western New York Relief Council, served on the Sonnenberg Gardens Educational Committee, and organized public events, including a notably well-attended lecture by renowned ecologist Doug Ptolemy. I probably mispronounced that. And also received a SUNY Chancellor Awards for Excellence in Service in 2020. Since her retirement, she has continued to give back, leading tree inventory efforts in the village of Naples, offering public workshops in the community. One colleague summed it up best. She embodied the values of FLCC, and everyone who worked with her valued her as a colleague. Verna, thank you so much. And I thank all of the people that contributed, that wrote letters for these people, that helped inform this, and I thank you for your time.
For all four of them.
Yeah.
So Beth, I'd just like to say thank you for highlighting the resumes and the whereases that we have here, and bringing the accomplishments of these wonderful people to our attention. What a great way to end our Education Planning Committee meeting, and we certainly look forward to voting on their emeritus distinctions. So thank you, and with that, if anyone else has any other items for the Education Planning Committee?
One more.
Oh, there is one more? Good change it. Where are we here in the agenda? Oh, sorry. We have the strategic thought presentation.
Apologies,
Dr. Nye and Dr. Orloff.
got distracted.
I had so much exciting news here, I thought we were done. There's always more.
Well, I'd also like to introduce Cheryl. I don't know if we can get him on, but I'd also like to introduce Todd Miles, who is our IT CIO, who also is going to speak. And this strategic discussion started many years ago. And we wanted this to be connected to the resolution, but I think it's important to discuss transition to Banner SaaS, which is our enterprise resource planning application, which is where we take care of maintaining all of our data in so many different ways. We wanted to go to Banner and looked at it in my first or second year here. And SUNY offered us $1 million to get into, to transfer. We weren't quite ready for it at the time, and then we decided we'd look at it again as we were in COVID to try to use COVID funds, couldn't use the COVID funds directly, but coming out of it, looked at it in terms of transitioning on our own again. And I think we may have been a little bit overzealous in the cost, but the cost at that point in time were determined to be $12 to $15 million to do. So that wasn't going to be able to help us. So lo and behold, we are looking at different applications and things to put patchwork on our Lucian College system, which is an outdated, antiquated system that goes back to the 1990s with a language system that's obsolete. So SUNY has used part of their $350 million they had for transformation funds for technology transformation, to take 6 schools and have them transfer to Banner SAS. The other school only other school that's using a Lucian colleague like us, Onondaga Community College, is also going to transition along with us and to do that together. This is long overdue, and it's the reason for the resolution, and make sure you're familiar far more than I am at this point about this transition and to pass the resolution, is it's still going to be expensive for us. Talking with both Todd and Jason Tack, $1 million to $2 million of our funds will have to be used for this, and quite frankly, you should probably plan for more based on how these transitions occur. But it's important, and I'd say 2 million is like, that's pretty good, but it could be more, but it's important. We also, as you know, built up our general fund to be able to support things like this after COVID. So we have the ability to make this work this time that we didn't have before. So it's very, very important that you're knowledgeable about what we're going to do, and that it's a lengthy process. It takes a number of years. And part of the costs are because we're going to have to hire more people to be able to help our staff do their day job while the transitioning is going on. So I'm going to pass it off to Dr. Orloff, because she uses the application far more than I do, to continue the discussion. And Todd, are we able to get him on?
He's on.
All right, great. So Todd's going to talk after Deborah. Take it away.
So really, Dr. Nye just said everything I was going to say.
All right. I'm sorry, we didn't rehearse.
But, and we've talked a little bit about this before, so I'll just put like a fine point on it. Dr. and I mentioned we're using an antiquated system. I think that's a kind word. I'm not sure what word I would use right now. It is not tenable. It's an untenable system, right? We cannot do the kind of high quality data analytics and day-to-day operations. I'm not just talking about analytics. I'm not just talking about the kind of forecasting and projection and understanding of the student experience that are absolutely necessary in today's education environment. I'm talking about basic things like being able to run a report on what a student is taking right now so that you can help the student in front of you. That doesn't work as well as it should. And our staff here in IT, in APCI, in the registrar, and everyone else have worked wonders and put Band-Aids on things and done amazing things. And we need to move on so that we are ready for the now. I'm not even talking about the future. It will get us ready for the future, and that's great too. But this is where we need to go in order to best serve our students. A couple of really sort of key points, as you can see on the slide. The fact that we're doing this with SUNY, I think, is not to be undersold, right? When we talk about the benefits of systemness, sometimes SUNY isn't always maybe living up to its full potential. And this is an area where they've stepped forward. They're providing funds and infrastructure, and they're providing guidance that I think will benefit us in ways that go beyond the software itself and to practices. And that ultimately is also really important for the future. So, I won't belabor anything else. If anyone does have a specific question about our current system or some of the capabilities of the new system, I can certainly go into that from a data perspective. And Todd is also here to talk about this more from an IT perspective. So Todd, let me pass it to, actually, let me pause.
Are we done with the slide?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Just one question.
Yeah.
You mentioned about adding staff. I'm unclear in the way you put that out there. Is that a temporary?
Yes, temporary staff. So when you're doing the
Right, I
data
understand.
transition, that's temporary staff. I apologize for that, but it's to make sure that we we're having people that can help with the transition while we have to do our regular job, temporary.
Temp back.
Temporary full-time support and the potential part-time support.
And we've worked through that in my area and in IT, which are the two areas that will be most impacted. But we are, we are anticipating as we get more details with this, that we'll need to continue to look at that.
HR too.
Yeah.
So my understanding of this, I don't want to assume too much, but we keep passing resolutions with,
I know where you're going.
policy and
I know
to keep
exactly where
us
you're going.
going.
Yep.
And this is going to take us off of that path onto a more stable. Okay.
Yes, one of the reasons that we have to bring in so much support is this antiquated language. And I think I mentioned before, the way that the SIS is set up, it's not really a database because Unidata is not written in a queryable language, so we can't do normal queries. And that's one of the problems we have. So we have to bring in really heavy hitters to do things that are fairly straightforward and basic. So yes, in the long run, that will absolutely get us there. Is that day one? No, because we have to keep something going while we're bringing the new thing on. But once we have fully adopted it, we'll see a significant reduction. Jason Tack, our CFO, that is part of the modeling that he's done around the cost, taking that into consideration.
Thank you.
I know, right? I mean, it's a
So-
journey.
Just to add to that, that's absolutely correct. We've got our life out of this system, as you probably know from many different conversations over time. Yeah. So it's a unique opportunity that we're at, that we're end of life here and want to move on. But what do we move on to? Do we do what we've done in the past, or have we maybe learned some things over that? You're in the same position as many other colleges and community colleges around. You've got custom code because this is how you guys do it. Well, we want to change that, and SUNY obviously wants to change that so that when they ask for reports from us and other campuses, it's all the same. We're using same codes. We're using the same templates for different things, which then also saves us time and money when it comes to programming and getting help for it. We can go to another SUNY easily and go, hey, how are you doing X? Or can you share that template with us? We can share this template with you. And, they work rather than it being, we're special, we're custom, we're this, and it doesn't work. So I think it's great that we're able to move forward with this initiative with SUNY. So we're going to get some help. How much help we won't know probably until we are into it, but we need to move that direction regardless. So better to move that direction with some backing and help. We're in the first, if I'm not mistaken, we're in the first cohort. I apologize, I'm only 2 weeks on the job, so I might be a little behind on where we're at with this. Right. And Dr. Nuss said, it's going to take several years. Yes, I think we start in June 2026, and we're out till February 2028, somewhere out there. So it will take time to get these things done, and that's where that staffing needs to come in. We can't ask our current staff who are busy doing the day-to-day things to keep us moving to then take on a project of this size and magnitude and expertise. There's expertise here that we don't necessarily have. So,
any other questions?
So it sounds like this gotten everything we can out of the system. Now the system is taking a lot out of us. So
well said. Well said. I think there were some cheers at that.
Some things that you'll get out of this. Oh, sorry. Was there a question? I couldn't see it.
Yeah, just 1 second. Go ahead.
Will our students be impacted by everything that's going on in the back office? How are they going to be?
That's a good question. So the short answer is no, because the way we're going to transition it will be, so we're not going to impact students. But in the long run, they're going to be impacted on the positive because there are a whole host of things we can't do that are essentially commonplace in higher ed now. But because some of those integrations don't integrate with that antiquated language I was talking about, we're not able to do some of the scheduling we would like to do. We're not able to do predictive work around student scheduling and building the types of schedules that work well for students, just as an example. So in the long run, they will be impacted by better service, better information, and us being able to do our work better. In the short run, you know, of course, we never want students impacted by, you know, a tech adoption. That's what we work towards, them not feeling that impact. And that's why we bring on folks to help us with it, with this type of adoption. It is not a minor thing. So I don't want to pretend that it's a minor thing. The 2 years is maybe even a little bit of an underestimate of how long it will take, but we're bringing on real help to help us, and SUNY is as well, right? So that's Todd. And Todd, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that. There's another.
The stuff that comes with Banner is going to be standard, and it's going to be things that we're going to want and use and wish we had, and now we've got it, and that's part of the package. You know, it's like having an old car. It had roll-up windows. Well, standard now has electric windows. What a great feature. You know, this is going to have those types of things as well for our students and for our staff, and to be able to make new things available quicker for them. So, you know, mobile-ready, you know, interfaces. It just comes that way, so you can see it easily on your phone, or, you know, whatever it may be, something that we want to add to the portal. It's not, you know, taking months to do. It's, oh, we want to add that tile to the portal for students. Great, let's turn that on. Here's the data. The data is already there. We just want to expose it to students. Okay, great. So
Interesting. So I'm curious, with the logistics of this, involving other five, we're part of a group of five piloting this. So do we work with those other colleges as well as with SUNY? Are we all on the same plan? Does everybody have a different schedule? How does that work?
It's one schedule, and sort of like SUNY's the chief, and sort of driving the big train. But then each school has its own chief driver as well, so that we have someone on campus who's the project manager, making sure that we're meeting deadlines, that we're doing the things that we want, that we have to get done in order to stay up with everybody else. So it, you know, they have a decent beginning of their project management plan. We don't have all the full details yet, but it is well thought out. And I think there is a real benefit to doing this in tandem with these other schools. It helps us also think through things and for them to think through things as well.
Thank you.
Quick question. I've been around long enough to know I'm fully supportive. You've done a lot of internal analysis, everything. Will this system, since it's kind of standardized, allow us to do, for lack of a better phrase, comparative analysis between us and the other community colleges on whatever topic we happen to be interested in?
Sure.
Yeah. Broadly, yes, it is. As Todd was mentioning, one of the big problems we have is that the 64 campuses, including the 29 community colleges, FIT is not a community college, so I don't include it in there, everyone sort of does it their own thing. Now, we have reporting standards, or things we have to report to SUNY, but it's hard for them to some degree to make some of that available. And then there are certain things we can benchmark against, certain things we can't. So theoretically, all of this moves in that direction more effectively. And certainly for the campuses that are immediately involved, that will be easier. So all in all, yes. And then I think it also gives us better tools for doing some of that more simply, which then allows us to free up time for some of our analysts who can do more complicated work. And so there's some benefits in multiple places and spaces.
I think I'd add to that. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think I would just add to that is you're going to, with this process, we should get cleaner data, because it will give us an opportunity to clean those things up and make more requirements. You're going to get standardized data, and it will give us the potential to be able to get that type of information back from SUNY or compare it better because we'll all be looking at it the same way rather than, oh, I look at it this way, you look at it this way. So I think in the long run, yes, we will have a better system in place to be able to do that.
Okay, and now, and I guess this is half a time I had a question. Dr. and I alluded to the cost that we'll have to invest in this and the fact that we've got a fund balance that can address this. So what I took from your comment was when the time comes, we should be prepared to invest some of that money in fairly large sums when the time comes.
Yes, and this is one of those investments
Yeah.
that we've been wanting to do, trying to do, planning to do for a number of years. This is a true investment in, and it makes it better for students. And that's one of the things that has been highlighted. We'll be able to react and respond faster and better
Much faster.
to students and their needs than we do now.
Okay. Thank you.
And as for the investment, I mean, how often does SUNY come around and say, we're going to help with money wise and be able to throw money at something?
Story.
Right. So it's probably one of the best times, even though the number might be high, we're not going to get a better number and we surely aren't going to do better by waiting. So.
Absolutely. So did we volunteer for this? Were we selected? How did?
They looked at 8 colleges and they selected 6. And when we first learned about it, it was a very easy answer across the entire senior leadership, which was absolutely yes, and make sure that we're not one of the 2 left out.
Yeah. There was some loud response.
In the past, when I've worked with SUNY on this type of thing, like the D2L project, the different cohorts, there's different cohorts that go on. There's maybe 5, 6 different colleges or universities in those cohorts. And they try sometimes, either they're trying to get a mix, especially for that first cohort. It's, oh, you have a colleague system, you have a this system, you have a that system. Let's get an idea so that we know how to handle those. So cohort 2 and 3 or 4, however many they go out, they've already had the experience in working with a campus that had colleague, a campus that had, whatever SIS they had in it. So we probably were picked for one of those reasons, and maybe we made noise that when we heard it was coming, we were like, hey, us first, we'd be happy to go. Pros and cons to going first. They're going to learn on us, which is what it is, but we get there faster, and we also get, the opportunity to get our word out. Those templates that we talked about earlier, we'll be able to have, first say in that because we're the first cohort. So the second cohort probably will have to just, take what's given and what has been chosen, type of thing. So pros and cons.
There's also no guarantee that there's money coming forward, right?
Absolutely.
This organization, are we going to treat this as though it's its own capital project? Or are we going to set it up as part of the operational budgets and for him, you got that one?
Interesting question.
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
And part of that is because it's phased over time. You could put it in capital, but it's not really capital, it's operating costs. The large part for us, Todd, please correct me, for us is going to be the labor that we have to hire to help us over the period of those few years, to be able to support the activity that goes on. So it'd be more of a budgetary planning process, I think, than it would be a capital.
It's something to think about. At some point, let's be able to track what this costs as separated from the rest of the operational budget for.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we can still track
We
it.
plan to do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
It has to
For
be,
sure.
but
Above and beyond.
Yeah.
it's gonna have to be on an annual basis.
Yeah,
So 3 years from now, we can say this cost X.
absolutely. We'll be able to
State
track that.
contributed Y. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
You can come back to this meeting and say, you guys said it would cost this, but it actually costs this less.
Exactly that.
It'll cost a little more.
Anyone who's done a health
Been
run.
there.
So true.
Just so you know, Jeff Astos, who just spoke, was the county administrator So he understands about these projects.
He understands how those projects gotta grow.
Any other questions that any of us can answer?
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Does it start now?
It technically starts in June,
In June?
but essentially, we're already off to the races. And we'll have a better sense of things starting in June when the team comes together.
On the IT end of things, it has started on the IT end of things, meaning we have to look into code, we have to look into inventory, lots of different things in that area, which then will probably drift out to different areas as we ask those kind of questions. But yeah, it's good to meet you all.
Periodically provide updates.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting, it's a lot, but everyone on campus is excited and knows what a great thing this will be for our students and for our employees and faculty, so.
So Todd, you get the last word. We're really glad to have you here supporting us.
Well, I'm happy to be here. It's good to meet you all. And I look forward to working with you and the rest of the IT team. So have a great night.
Thank you, Todd. All right. With that, anybody have any additional questions or comments? All right, we will adjourn the educational committee. Joan?
Second, George.
Who seconded?
George.
George. Steve? Who said?
Whatever you want.
Joan and Steve.
No, that would be Joan and George.
Joan and George.
I didn't speak.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, trustee Mahalik, trustee Martin, finance and facilities.
Thank you, Chair Cass. Call to order the April 1st, 2026 Finance and Facilities Committee meeting. We have a review of our March 4th, 2026 committee minutes. Thank you again, Penny and AI. Nice team for those minutes, as you stated. Any comments or questions on the minutes last month, March 4th? Changes, corrections? Perfect again, thank you. We welcome Karen Ulrich to give us an update with regard to our current operating budget and finance report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't think I've met any of you, but I am your controller.
Yes.
And I am gonna do my best to fill in for Jason tonight. I was a little excited when he said it was at the North campus, because as a student, I won't say when, but it wasn't in this location in Newark, where I took most of my classes. So I was like, oh, nice.
Welcome home.
I know, right? Yeah, it was the shortest commute for me since I started working for FLCC.
The floor is yours.
All right, so we are gonna look at our budget actuals as of February 28th. And we'll start with the revenue. So as you can see, we are tracking pretty much on point with what we expected. Aside from our tuition, which Dr. Avedas kind of covered why we would see more in tuition revenue, because our FTE has gone up due to the reconnect that really we weren't sure how to anticipate that. So that explains kind of the little bit of a discrepancy there. And then the miscellaneous fees also went up. That's mainly because of the increase in the Gemini enrollment that we had, as well as the student health fees. So does anyone have any questions on revenue?
So tuition, we're already at 100%, and we're halfway through the year.
Yes,
Still have summer and
summer, yes. Yep, so that's a good thing to be off,
questions on the revenue. On the expense side, anything you want to highlight?
Okay, so expenses, again, we are tracking pretty much where we should be right now, 50% of the year is done. There are a couple of things that we should see some savings in salaries due to some vacancies that we've had throughout the year. And, but all the other non-salary expenses are right where they should be this time of year, so. Anyone have any questions there?
It's good to see utilities certainly kind of bit below budget,
Yeah.
so.
I wish I could say the same for my personal ones, but.
Questions on the expense side? Thank you. We're going to welcome Deborah up or Dr. Orr to talk about.
A resolution.
That's right, strategic plan grants.
Yeah, so you have in your packet a resolution to approve some additional funds to projects you've already approved. So these are projects that have been, thank you, that have been deemed as going well, meaning they're meeting all their marks, they're continuing to do the work. And we want to make sure that they can extend to the end of this strategic plan while we continue to look at them for recommendations to put in the operational budget or close them out or, you know, sort of depending on how we go. So those are all in your packet already. I'll just very briefly highlight the iWorks project is the project where Jeremy Termini, who's our professor in kinesiology, he has a very, very healthy online program. That program moved from almost all face-to-face to like 75% online. And he has found some innovative software that is allowing the students to essentially use the exercise equipment that is in the main physiology lab. So they're able to use it while they're online to do the different types of tests that they have to learn how to do. He did his first run with the first set of software. It went exceedingly well. He has some really great results around that, and I'm excited for him to talk with you about those initial results. And he wants to expand it to the next module. That was always sort of part of the plan, but he's now at that point where we're ready to do that. Culinary Arts Mixed Reality is to expand the work to another module of meat or another type of meat. We're doing cow, we're gonna do pig. I am over the moon about this project. It's very exciting. But as a note for you all, just as we've done with a couple of past projects, we will not move on. We're asking you to approve the expenditure, but we will not actually move to the expenditure until the cow is fully completed and delivered. And then we will authorize movement to the pig. I know I sound ridiculous. But I will say I'm working pretty closely on that project and it's very exciting to see. We also have a lot of industry excitement around it because this is a sort of needed skill in a lot of different areas. So that's exciting.
I'm excited to see how AI is going to capture that.
Yeah. Cows to the pig.
Does this involve live animals?
No.
No. Okay.
So, and certainly our resident experts would be better to talk to you about this, but basically what we have done is take models that already exist in the world and use those models to put into the AR, VR headset so that then the student, it looks like a side of beef. The side of beef that they would receive and they are able to do the different cuts. It's quite stupendous. I mean, I've seen different aspects of this along the way. And the impact for our students is very large. Currently, they get to each do one cut when they do the butchering model. They get one cut with one knife. And this allows them to learn to butcher it fully, do it again and again and again. And just like in our welding, the AR comes and says, no, you didn't do that quite right? So they can correct. So it's pretty monumental what it's going to mean for our students in terms of the skill they're going to be.
It's like an anatomy for.
Yes, for animals, but through the lens like hollow.
Okay.
Yes,
Like hollow.
yes.
Yeah.
And there's a haptic instrument that they use that is like the knife. It's really, when it's fully done, of course, we'll be demonstrating it, but the work and the thought behind it, the innovation behind it, Christy and Jamie, it's really so innovative and exciting to be thinking about where we're going with
It's
this.
getting closer to my holodeck.
Yeah, I mean, truly, it's sort of another version of the holodeck, honestly.
Yes.
It really is. The Lexus AI project is essentially expanding it to another group of students. We've gotten excellent feedback on this from our advisory board, who essentially have said, this is a must. Students must have this skill. So in the long run, this will likely move into the operational budget, but this allows us to finish out this cohort with the strategic plan. So we went from it only being available for the first year students, now first year and second year students will have it for their entire period of education. We've gotten very, very good feedback from the students who did their internships, knowing how to use the AI that's already being used in the legal field. And then the last one is our FLCC Mosaic project, CAPS project, which Jackie is here. She is running that along with Liz Brunel, and that is going gangbusters. Also another project I'm really excited for you to hear more about is when we have the time when they get to come in and talk to you, which is not today. That project, we wanted to sort of see how it was sitting with the superintendents and what the response would be from downtown businesses. It has been excellent, and we want to be able to extend it to the end of the strategic plan, which again was an intention, but we wanted to sort of make sure things were going to work on that before we authorize that. So that's the resolution you have in front of you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
So when you refer to downtown businesses, are you referring to just Canandaigua or other communities as well?
So there's two different parts of the project really, and the downtown businesses, that's sorted through our art space and through Liz Brownell downtown doing. That's focusing on the windows and actually helping to expand that so that more downtown businesses will have students that are working on creating the window displays for them. In addition, then the part that I oversee is not specifically related to downtown Canandaigua, but it's businesses anywhere. Actually, we even have a business in New York City that sent a project for us, and a camp in New Hampshire that sent a project to us. So the students that I oversee are high school students that come on campus 5 mornings a week, and they take a college class at FLCC of their choice, and then the rest of the time they're working on projects for businesses.
The businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as part of this, with the downtown business art project, this will allow them to bring in their first downtown Geneva business. So it does expand the footprint, which again was sort of the idea that we would take this in phases, but response has been extremely positive in all aspects, and including from the superintendents, which is an important part of this for that high school part.
And I approached Jackie this evening about expanding it to NYCCT for some statewide work we're doing.
Exciting. Love that idea. Yeah. There's a lot of potential here, I think, with both of these. They're essentially applied learning projects that bring business and FLCC together, which is very exciting and certainly in line with our strategic plan.
It's a great program.
Final questions of Deborah? Thank you. All excited. Well, welcome back, Karen.
Yes.
And like these 6 resolutions.
Yes.
Please lead us.
Okay, so I think the first one you guys have on your agenda is the approval of changes to the facility use policy. Basically, this is just changing the name. It's going to be the facility and grounds use policy. It's revising the 2020 version, primarily focusing on longer planning lead times, updated departmental oversight, and new restrictions on property use. One of the key new elements is an appendix outlining best practices to assist in successful event planning. All right. The next one is the approval of changes to the use of credit cards policy. This has basically just been reformatted to assist with clarity and consistency. Again, the most substantive change with this is the inclusion of a table outlining the approved uses of college credit cards, making it a lot easier for those credit card users to understand the policy and follow it.
Okay.
The next one we have is to authorize a contract renewal for debt collection services. This resolution is wanting to renew the agreement with the General Revenue Corporation for the continued provision of collection services for additional 12-month period.
So they've been effective.
What's that?
They've been effective as far as
Yes.
the
Yeah.
collection, we're
Yes.
getting more than we're paying.
We try.
That was the case, but keep going.
All right,
Question.
the next resolution is the approval and adoption of the seeker for the EV stations in parking lot A. This basically establishes the FLCC Board of Trustees as the lead agency. And shows the project will have no significant adverse environmental impacts. And the impacts identified shall be mitigated to the extent practical.
Twice, okay.
All right. And then the next one is near and dear to my heart, is the approval to advance banner SAS implementation. If anyone wants to know, our current system is the bane of my existence on a daily basis. I'm very excited about this one. So the resolution states that SUNY is going to be responsible for an estimated $1.8 to $2.2 million of the implementation costs. FLCC would be responsible for the licensing and platform fees, SECAS memberships, SECAS conversation or conversion charges, and then also the backfilling of positions, key positions, who are also going to assist with the implementation of this system. We're looking to start that in May, like they said in the presentation.
Good question, Steve.
Right, of course, Jeff.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the fee not including the conversion costs? I guess the question is, what is conversion? What do we mean by it? Is that just like getting all our data transported onto their system?
It's converting what is currently in our SIS so it can go into the new system, which requires, they're not written in the same language. So there's a literal programming conversion to take place.
Other questions? Follow up, Jeff? All set?
No, I'm listening.
Anything else you might offer, Karen, on these resolutions?
No. I think.
Budget transfer report?
Yep, we have one on there. It's basically just moving dollars from one expense category to the other within the same department.
No questions there. Final questions for Karen? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Please, a motion for adjournment. Thank you. Moved by Rich, second.
Second.
Thanks by Fred. All in favor? Aye. Chairman Dow.
Thank you, President Martin. I'd like to call to order the Board of Trustees meeting for April Fool's Day. No pun intended. Do we have anybody online?
No.
Okay. I'd like a motion to approve the consent agenda, minutes and resolutions.
So
So it's Donna and Jeff.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Old business. I've left Jeff alone too long on the committee, so I'm going to appoint tonight trustee Mahalik and trustee Martin. Be on the committee with trustee Assels.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Let us know, Jeff, when you want to meet or call.
Yeah.
Great.
President?
Well, I did a lot of talking already, so I'm going to be very brief tonight. For my report, I just wanted to, I hope you saw from the discussion with Todd Miles, we're lucky to have Todd as our interim CIO, even though he's working from afar. But if you remember, we did the same thing with Dan Dupuy, now the president of Jefferson Community College, when he was the CFO during the COVID timeframe. He's been very, very helpful so far. We're really lucky to have him. Plus the other two individuals that are working with him, one of them who's on the campus at least one day a week working with the team. And I would just say, the IT team has done a wonderful job during a difficult transitory period. Really good.
No.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to highlight a couple of dates for you. One was in the report, and that is the Mueller Field Station Bunkhouse celebration on April 22nd. Bree, if you would like to elaborate on your big event, please feel free to elaborate.
I was down at Mueller Field Station yesterday. It is looking beautiful. We're almost ready to invite everyone on, April 22nd, 11 a.m. It is Earth Day, so, the Conservation Department will also have some additional programming around, that campus on that day. But at 11 sharp, we will have, 4 speakers, Dr. Nine, Maura Sullivan, the director of the field station, the donor, so the family of the late Emil Mueller, the daughter will be there present, as well as several of their foundation board members. So I encourage you all to attend. Please come down. You'll get a tour of the new facility. It's a beautiful place to be, and I believe it's a Wednesday morning. So where would you rather be?
I will be. Yep.
And from an NYCCT perspective, George, the Mueller Foundation did receive an NYCCT award. I'm trying to remember the year. But I'm sure we can go back and find it, for, partnership, I believe, that was, it was the Polinsky Partnership Award, I believe.
Thanks, Bree. You said it far better than I could have, so appreciate it. 2 other dates for you, just a heads up. Those of you that haven't been to the, or if you have an interest to come back again, the Accepted Student Day on April 18th. If you want to see the faculty and staff and actually from college, there are 3 days where that really works out exceptionally, and that's commencement and the Accepted Student Day in the spring and the open house in the fall. So really excellent event. And then finally, we have a well overdue recognition for our former baseball coach and athletic director, Mr. Robert Bob Loudon, on Saturday, April 25th, to recognize the baseball field in his honor. And it would be great if you could come to that as well. And then finally, I put in the bottom of my report that we're going through the process that all colleges are and other organizations for electronic, EIT, electronic, something technology application.
Electronic technology accessibility.
Information technology accessibility. I couldn't get the information, sorry. EITA. And we're supposed to be fully compliant, or supposed to be compliant by April 24th. No one's going to get there. It's tedious and cumbersome or too polite in terms of some of the work. And I can look at Penny over there, and she is one of the ones suffering through that to make sure that our electronic materials in all of our areas, from our external website to our internal site, and working on that. It's going to be a long process. Deborah Orloff is our lead agent right now and working on some of the things that need to get accomplished. And what I really wanted to acknowledge is just that we won't be compliant, but nobody else will. But it's going to be a long haul, not in terms of like the same thing as the Banner SAS, but it's just going to have to become something that's a habit, just like you do spell checking and so forth in the future to get things accomplished, and then work through the technology that makes some of it difficult to accomplish to the level of specificity that was expected. Our report subject to any questions. I don't know if you want to elaborate any further on it, but since you're.
If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. We are working on having them more comprehensive.
Thank you. Thank you. Sure.
I just had a comment, since you mentioned the recognition for ball fields. I spent Saturday up on the fields, and we often either don't think about it or take for granted how much the facility is being used by other people.
I know.
But there were 6 hours of traveling girls softball teams playing in the softball field in really barely tolerable weather. And the baseball field I don't know who was using it, but, you know, there was 40 or 50 guys there, either doing tryouts or practices. And that went on for hours. So those facilities get used way, way more than you might think.
Oh, especially in the Northeast with other fields that might be grass and mud, you've got the
Yeah.
turf, so it becomes probably an attraction maybe.
And then, just on, nothing but a personal note. It was nice to be involved in all the discussions that led up to the development of those fields. But Saturday, I watched my great granddaughter play in one and stuff. That was still.
Came all right.
Yeah, the clouds.
Yeah. Glad you said that, because actually I did have one last thing. Take a look. I gave you the list that Bree and her team helped put together, which is all the different facilities. You need to have an appreciation for just how much our facilities are used by the community. And it really does make a difference. So I hope that would resonate with you as well.
Yes, I wanted to thank you for including that. I think it, just seeing the names of things makes it more real of where all the tentacles are out in the community. So I really appreciated the list.
It's great. Appreciation to Bree and her team that have
Thank
put
you,
that
Bree.
together and track it and support all the people that use the facilities. Great.
I know that you get an orientation for the new supervisors. But I was thinking about that list too, might be something that it would be nice to somehow communicate to the other supervisors so they understand that the community is using facilities.
Make it happen.
Trustee Mann.
So we just had our spring break last week, so hopefully all the students are feeling refreshed and back to it. We have a bunch of fun activities planned throughout the month. One of them is going on right now. We have, what does being a Laker mean to you? So we're asking students to upload photos or artwork, and then we're gonna have a contest with that. April 14th is Laker Day, so there's no classes for us, but it gives us a chance to interact with the faculty and staff for experiential learning. So that's gonna be fun for us. And then lastly, student core executive board applications are due by the 3rd. So by this Friday, and we'll see what kind of interest we have on those positions.
Anytime there were fruits. Trustee Edsel, audit being around.
No report. We have the annual audit and probably unlike other levels of government, we don't have any crisis that requires.
Very diplomatic.
Trustee Mahalik.
Board development, I was unable to be at the last board development meeting. Did anyone have any comments from that meeting?
We did postpone.
It was postponed, okay. So, my anticipation is that, we would just want to talk about where we go from here based on what, Rose had presented to us. You know, just rethink what does board development want to do?
We'll talk about it. Okay, Trustee Cushman, let's see which one's like you. Personnel this time.
Personnel, now I need your help. What did we talk about? Because it was a pretty good conversation.
Yeah, so in short, it was a recap of my interview for the roles, taking us through potential change from human resources to people experience, as naming the office as well as our philosophy and kind of what we're seeing. So that's the short.
Thank you for the reminder. I also had a long trip. I just got back. What's important is that HR is trying to really rebrand itself to what it really does, which is a full service for staff. They do much more than just it was a good conversation about that. the survey that was done, I thought was promising because there was a higher degree of trust than we may have heard in some different conversations that we hear around. The staff has a higher degree of trust and faith in that organization. There's still room for improvement, but it's on a good path. So,
Thank you. Trustee Guys, Foundation.
A couple things a week from this Friday is V&V, Vintners and Valentine's, for those of you that are going. The next big fundraiser will be in September. The golf tournament is going to be in September instead of June. And for the first time, the foundation is going to have a retreat. We've never gotten together with all of the board members, get to know each other, talk strategy, things of that nature. And so I want to thank Marie and her people for putting all this together. All right, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Mahalik, anything on HCD?
Other than today starts National Community College Month. So anything that you see online or think is relevant that you can attach FLCC's name to, please share that through your social media outlets if you have the opportunity to do that. I know that they have made a big push at the national level to be supportive, and they've certainly asked at the state level and at the local college level that we make a push during April to really focus on this is a time to celebrate community colleges.
Thank you. Trustee Cushman, NYCCT.
I want to thank everybody for that wrote to their assemblyman or senator. Appreciate it. I think and that would include students and also foundation members, which great. Thank you again for having me, allowing me to address them. I think I think we're gonna get an earlier start on that next year, but right now we're waiting now to see what happens. The governor is consistent and that the budget is delayed. But right now what they're working through is more policy issues, and once they're done, they'll get to the money. But the feedback we're getting is promising. Not talking big, we're talking, but going into next year, we will be, we are going to start that planning, in the end of April. So we are going to be kicking it off and really getting Parkside up and going. And it's interesting talking with Will at SUNY, their government relations guy. He said, you guys went from Sandlot softball to the majors. We moved to what we did. So very good, very promising. So thank you, but it's most just thank you for
Thank you. One more, Student Corp.
So Student Corp, again, I say it every month, and I'll say it again. These students are just amazing. And the real focus on all students than the college. They really got a vision for that, and they do more than we realize in support of those students. And with things that are going on, we heard from Beth about, she mentioned in passing about all the other things that impact student success. And Deborah Lopp has reported on this multiple times, and it's probably 70 to 80% of the reason students don't succeed is because of life getting in the way versus academics. And with what's going on with the economy right now, price of gas, et cetera, just want to kind of say there was the number of students requiring basic need year over year went from 168 last year to 320 this year. Bus passes went from 3 last year to 63 this year. Gas cards, food pantry, similar. Clearly, there's the the canary in the coal mine is probably our students. And I think it's something that as we're going through and again, great to the foundation, kudos, great appreciation for all that you do to help fund some of these basic needs items. I think we as a board have to like focus also what we're hearing from the students right now. And that is that it's getting tougher and tougher just to get in here every day and make it happen. So I just want to bring that to the board's attention and for your consideration.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, got a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We opposed? Thank you.
Artemis just went. Artemis.
I mean, good.
So, and you got your retirement. I went to hire.